Okay, we're going to get started. Thanks for attending. My name is Oktay Dogramaci, and we're going to talk about what's going on with nonprofits, mobile giving, and mobile commerce. This is being streamed live, so we'll take questions at the end. If you have questions along the way that you want to ask from the web, you can tweet them. The hashtag is XMob, and so we'll field those at the end. So my wife and kids can send their question in. We'll handle that. So I was the CTO of Mission Fish, who is eBay Inc.'s nonprofit partner. We've been building cause marketing programs into eBay properties since 2003. We've raised over $250 million doing that since then. And in the past year, we were acquired by eBay, and so now I'm part of PayPal, responsible for donation and cause-related features globally. And one of those things has to do with what we're doing around nonprofits and donations with mobile. So we're not going to spend much time on this slide. At this point in the conference, you've had this message drilled into you over and over by now. If you have not absorbed the themes of mobile, local, social, and digital by now, we have probably been attending different conferences. So we don't have to go through the stats. I think the main thing I want you to take away from this is what you've been hearing. Mobile is huge, and stats aside, it's affecting how technology plays into our lives, right? Things that we never dreamed about doing via mobile just a few short years ago are now real. Things like paying for parking with your phone. Like maybe some of you dreamed of that, but not even just that, but you can even find a parking space with your phone. So things that we just thought about a few years ago are really happening, and it's affecting how technology plays into our lives. So the main point, mobile is huge. Now this talk is about mobile technologies and charitable giving. So why are we focusing on charitable giving? I think if you attended yesterday's session with Blake Markowski, that was a great kind of lead into this, right? I think you have a good sense of the answer to that already. Giving's important. My entire career has been in the e-commerce space. The last 12 years of that has been, within that specifically in charitable giving. And so I can tell you from that experience, there's two reasons why we do this as a company. The first reason is the corporate social responsibility aspect of that. It's the right thing to do. We are corporate citizens of the world, and we want to do our part. The second reason, though, is that it's good business, right? I mean, that was part of Tom Shoe's speech yesterday, is that cause is a strategic lever to meet our business objectives. And so we've been generating data about this to prove this point through our experiences on eBay Inc. We run a program called eBay Giving Works, where it's a great example that can show how cause marketing is good for your business. It's a program where donors can give a percentage of the proceeds of what they're listing on eBay to a nonprofit of their choice, and the cause-related aspects of those listings are shown on there, and then we highlight that on the listings. And we had some researchers at Columbia University who used eBay data to look at like listings on eBay, with the difference being of these like listings, ones that benefited charity and ones that didn't. And so it was a great example to show kind of this case in point about what cause can do to deliver business results. You can see this is a picture where of these like items, the control and the one that benefits charity, in terms of sales, in terms of bids, in terms of auction price, the stuff that's benefiting charity does better than the stuff that isn't. So, cause marketing is not just a theory. It's good business. As a company, we're innovating in this space. This eBay Giving Works program that I've been a part of, we're doing a lot on PayPal around disaster giving that we do there. And with my new role within the company, I'm excited to be doing more there. And we've been recognized for doing this also. In the past year, we won this Golden Halo Award from the Cause Marketing Forum. So we're proud, and we've been doing a lot with that. Now, mobile's huge, and charitable giving is important, right? What do these two things mean together? So, put another way, what does being in a post-PC world mean for causes? So let's break it down. People want to engage with their favorite causes using mobile, right? We were looking at statistics before. The mobile web usage is huge and growing. It's going to be bigger than PC. And so what do people do on mobile? You use your mobile to check email, you can say. And nonprofits most commonly use email to solicit donations from their supporters. So we're on a collision course here. People are going mobile. Nonprofits want to use mobile. But at the same time, mobile giving is still a trivial amount of funds raised that happens. So, this talk is about how can we leverage these trends in mobile to help causes that we care about. How can nonprofits do it to help them, and how can you leverage it to help your business? So that's what we're going to dive into. So if you think for a second, try and think of some way of mobile giving that maybe you've done or you can think of. We do all sorts of stuff around commerce and cause online, but mobile giving, what have you seen or what have you done around mobile giving? So if you think of anything or anything you've done, probably the most likely thing that would come to mind first would be text giving. So text giving has gotten a lot bigger in the last year, 2 years in particular. It has a lot of things going for it. First, the statistics around SMS are huge, right? The 68% of U.S. mobile users send text messages. 83% in the EU send text messages. So the statistics around how pervasive SMS is around mobile users is big, right? It's a huge opportunity there. SMS everywhere. And it's been, getting more and more popular, particularly with some of the disaster events in the past 2 years. You probably saw stuff around it with the Haiti earthquake last year. You might have seen some stuff around it with the Japan earthquake in the past year. You might see stuff around it with American Idol and things like that. So what is text giving? How does it work? What happens is the donation is paid by the carrier. So when you send a text message to the number that's designated, it's going to be for a fixed amount typically. And so you text a number, and you are committing to have $10 or whatever the donation amount was that was preset added to your phone bill, that then the carrier is going to work and pay that money out to the charity by working with some, usually there's a couple of intermediaries, middlemen that are doing this. So that's the way that it works. It usually works best with a direct appeal. What gets somebody to do that? There's disasters and these events are the most common thing. So that's an important part. When you have Bono at the concert standing there telling you, take your phone out and text this now, that's going to make some money. That does stuff. And when the Haiti earthquake stuff and people are on TV and everybody's saying, raise money for this disaster that's in the news, those are direct appeals. And it works because, wherever you are, this is a good aspect of mobile, you can do it quickly, you can respond to the direct appeal that you've gotten, and these big kind of events are a good way to raise money. The results from the Haiti stuff have been, pretty good. The Red Cross raised something over $30 million just for the Haiti earthquake alone from text giving. So, that's impressive, but as far as where we are in this, it's a trivial amount of what they raised overall for fundraising events for the Haiti earthquake. So more about SMS. A couple of challenges with it. One is there's fees that are taken out from this process that are taken out of the donation before they reach the benefiting nonprofits. Depending on the situation, sometimes if it's there's a lot of press around it or a major disaster, those fees will be waived, but often they aren't. And they range across the globe for where they happen and how they go. For a time, sometimes they were as high as 60%. That's lower now. Sometimes now, more typically, we hear things like 15%. But that's one challenge with SMS giving. There's high fees that are taken out before the donations reach the nonprofit. Another thing is restricted amounts, right? You have to decide when you set it up how much is going to be given for the text-based giving. You say $10 or whatever else. Whatever you pick, you have to pick a low threshold so that it's easy to do. But those numbers are lower than the average donation amounts we see from other traditional methods. So you feel like you're leaving something on the table by doing that. Another thing is, nonprofits often don't like text giving for various reasons. It's tough to get donor info to the nonprofit with text giving. It's a one-time thing. You can't get into any recurring donations or start a relationship with your donor as a nonprofit. They don't like that. So that's a challenge. And then, the other thing is, I started by saying SMS is huge, right? It's everywhere. But, the trend towards smartphones and how, the mobile web is enabled on your phone sends some signals about what's going on with SMS and how long this is going to last. One of the ways I think about this is, it could be that we're kind of at the beginning of the phase when Netflix was starting and getting into the DVD business. Like the mail-order DVD business, that's dying. But that's how they started before they started doing other things with streaming and things like that. But they had a huge business and did a lot of money around that. Maybe SMS giving is in the same space. There's a ton of SMS users and people are doing it. There's a lot of money that can be raised for charities by doing that. But over time, people are moving more and more towards smartphones and the mobile web, and how will that change what we're able to do? There could be an impact with that. So we talked about direct appeals, right, and the big events and the disasters. Those are not every nonprofit is involved with that, right? Not every nonprofit can benefit from those types of things. So I've been thinking about this. Is there a long tail of SMS donations? Can smaller nonprofits get involved in this type of stuff and benefit from it? I've been thinking about this recently, and when I was thinking about it, a couple weeks ago, I took my daughter to the zoo in Washington, D.C., where I live. And we walked down the path a little ways off to the elephant part, and we were looking at the elephants, and I saw this sign in front of me saying, text the number to give $5 to elephants. And I thought, this is great. This is a great example of how SMS giving can work for other nonprofits that aren't standing there at the concert with Bono and aren't standing there with Michelle Obama saying, raise money for this disaster. Think of the circumstance here, right? I mean, the people that have walked over here, it's a perfect scenario. You're standing there, you're looking at the elephant, right? You're interested, obviously. You walked over there. You have some reason that you've ended up there. And so, this is a way that they're trying to raise money. What else could they have done to get a donation out of me at this point? They're not going to have a sign that says, download our app and go to the App Store or go to the mobile web or something like that. Nobody's going to do it, right? And, having a cash box in this situation has other risks and costs. So this is a way that people can contribute to this cause in a way that, it's new money that they weren't going to get any other way. So there's lots of nonprofits that have physical presences somewhere that this could be an opportunity for, right? Where you've physically gone there, you're seeing the appeal, and this is an option for them to raise money. So that's an interesting thing, I think, for people to think about in ways that SMS kind of can be used to raise money for nonprofits and spread out beyond the huge Red Cross disaster type events. So apps in the mobile web, right? Is that going to solve the issues that we listed with SMS, right? We don't have the high fees. We don't have the restricted amounts. We don't have problems getting donor info. We can solve all that kind of stuff with apps in the mobile web, right? Well, maybe. There's some challenges here, too. One is, just building an app for donations is not a great solution. Giving alone is not an app. This is a picture of one. Lots of people have tried. We've been involved. I try and help people that do it. But it's challenging, right? This is an app that we help build. Don't go looking for it on the App Store, though. It's gone. Because, typically user behavior is not that people are going in and saying, I want to find, I got to find an app because I'm going to give that way. Like, why are you going to do that? If there might be some some interesting event-based gimmicks, and we'll show you some stuff like that. But typically, if you want this to be a way to raise recurring donations all the time, this is not something that, that people want to do. There's policy constraints, too. This is a little snippet from Apple's App Store guidelines, and at the bottom it says the collection of donations must be done via a website, in Safari, or an SMS. So you cannot use in-app payments on the iPhone to process donations. It is against Apple's policy. You can do it on Android. That means you're going to have different solutions for different platforms. So you have that. And, lousy user experiences also. Trying to, thumb a credit card number onto a phone, it's terrible, right? I have trouble doing it myself. And one thing to keep in mind, we're talking about mobile giving. When we say mobile, what do we mean by mobile? The phone, that's true, but, other devices that we consider mobile, you might not have the same story always. This is a picture of the PBS's iPad app. And so they have a donate button in the top right on there. And if you click it, it's a version, it's not a mobilized version of their web page. It goes to their website, and you can go ahead and give. And, I've done this. The experience isn't bad. You can type on there, and it's fine. So, it depends on the device. Thumbing a credit card number into a phone is tough, but, not all mobile devices are the same. So we have some challenges with apps in the mobile web. And we have some solutions, too. So PayPal offers solutions for these things. Mobile Express Checkout is the best example for solutions of these things, right? We have optimized the payment flow for the mobile web by using Mobile Express Checkout. You guys should be familiar with this by now, but it has gotten even easier for you now. You just have to know Express Checkout, and you can go through and make a payment that way. And then also, our mobile payments libraries for in-app Android donations. That's an option for you as well if you want to do things that way. So we have technology solutions from PayPal for how to do this, and people are using it. These are not just things in the air, but one example, Artez Interactive is a company that has built solutions for nonprofits that want to work with them. They've done the work to build the mobile app. Nonprofits can sign up, and it's a white-labeled version of a mobile giving app. Their brand can be stuck on it, and it uses Mobile Express Checkout to process the donation and pass it on. Within PayPal ourselves, the PayPal mobile app also has a donate feature, and we're using in-app payments to do that on the Android platform. It's a great example of all the things we talk about, at the trends at the beginning of this. We've got mobile and social and local features on there. You can see charities near you. It's obviously mobile. At the end, you can tell your friends about who you donated to, and you can tweet the results. And so, we have some things in practice. There's other kind of fun stuff, too, that some people are doing. This is a picture of the Salvation Army has a bell ringer app. And so it's a gimmick. I'll give you that. It's not a huge money raiser. You can wave your phone around, and it makes a sound, and you can show it to your friends, I guess. And they're doing it to raise awareness about their stuff. It's not a big money raiser. At the end, you can make a donation, and it goes through the Mobile Express checkout flow. So, there's fun stuff. There's more serious stuff, too. Comic relief is, not trying to be serious, but by serious, it's serious money. This is a charity in the UK that does a big annual event every year, all focused on one day that everybody on TV, all on the BBC, they're aware they're doing this fundraising event. And so they're trying to get lots of people focused on raising money for their cause, all on this one day, this one event. Just this past March was when this one took place, and they had a mobile strategy for what they were doing. They used Mobile Express Checkout to process payments from a mobile version of their site, and apps that they built that they were trying to get people to use. And in this one-day period, they raised £3 million. 36% of that was processed via mobile. So, this is real stuff. People are doing it. People are using the solutions that we have from PayPal. It's early days yet, but there's some interesting things going on. Beyond the direct kind of donation flow, there's some other interesting kind of innovations going on, ways people are doing fundraising with mobile that we can point to, that we can learn lessons from. One, this category I call indirect fundraising. Two examples there. One is CauseWorld. This is an app that was developed by a company, Shopkick, that they're similar to like Foursquare and Gowalla. If you haven't heard from them, you do check-ins in stores. And before they launched their actual flagship program, they launched this kind of test, what they called a test app first, called CauseWorld, where they partnered with 9 different charities, and you could go and if you checked in to the store, because they were testing their checkout functionality, by checking in, that would pledge, they got sponsors that would then pledge a donation to one of the charities that you picked, so they wanted to see how their stuff was working. And it went nuts. Within 3 months, they had 300,000 downloads on the App Store. People loved it. So they ended up keeping it around for a year longer than they intended to. But that's one way where, you're using mobile aspects of mobile technologies, raising money for causes you care about, but the money isn't, kind of directly moving at the end. There's other fun stuff like this, too. Snooze is an app by a company called Let Give, and their idea is you download this app, and every time you use your alarm on your iPhone to wake yourself up, and every time you hit the snooze button, you're pledging 25 cents for another charity. So like snooze to raise money for charities. I know that's not going to raise a lot of money either, but it's a fun thing different people are trying. There's a lot of examples of charities and causes that are getting involved in the mobile web that don't involve payments, right? A couple, these go on and on. A couple I would mention would be like The Extraordinaries is one. It's a app that you can download focused on micro-volunteering. So the point is, you're mobile, you're standing at the bus stop, instead of standing there playing your Angry Birds, whatever you can do, you can download this app, and it'll give you some type of volunteering activity that a nonprofit has a need for that you can do while you're standing there and do some good instead of wasting your time. So that's another thing that is going on. Planned Parenthood, bigger nonprofits are doing things too. These guys are focused on a text-based strategy where, they're putting spots on MTV and banners in places where, teens that are seeking support can text the organization from these spots and get support and even set up appointments via text. So, that's an interesting thing too. You can kind of be discreet and use mobile technologies to get connected to nonprofits in different ways. So there's lots and lots of examples of how some nonprofits are getting involved in mobile that go beyond payments. And then there's some that are doing a little bit of both, like this iHobo app is another one that got some press at the end. Their story is, the slogan was, put a hobo in your pocket, or something like that. And it sounds crass, but their idea was you are like adopting a homeless person, basically. That when you download this app, you're going to interact with them. They ask you, how are you going to help this person? But then for the next 3 days, they send you push notifications and tell you what's going on in this person's life and what they need then. And it raises awareness about what it's like to be homeless. And this thing was huge also. The first edition had 500,000 downloads. At the end, though, they tried to raise money from text donations at the end of the app, saying you can give money to support this cause also. It didn't make a lot of money. There was, from 500,000 downloads, they only raised £10,000. It was a UK app from about 4,000 donors. And they also didn't get much donor info from it, too. It was only like 1,200 email addresses came into it. So they thought about their user experience and what was going on and what they were trying to do about it. They got a lot of press. They got a lot of downloads, but actual results for their cause, not a lot, right? So they tweaked the app. The second version of it, they got another 40,000 downloads. This time, 10% of those they were able to harvest emails from, and that's a way to connect with them further. So you have to think about the user experience and what you're trying to do. Not just do something fun, but are you trying to collect info? Are you trying to raise money? Different things you can do. iBreastCheck is another one where it's a mobile app that helps women, has videos, tell them how they can check themselves for breast cancer. It's gotten some good press as well and some awards. At the end, it leads to a credit card donation on their mobile website. So, the mobile app is being successful. I don't know how much money it's making at the end, but these are some other examples of people that are doing innovative things. So speaking of innovative things, another solution for mobile payments that we're playing with these days and that we played with in the past couple of days. The PayPal invoicing APIs is another solution, I think, for mobile giving that offers some interesting kind of solutions here that haven't been there before. So the PayPal invoicing APIs are new. There have been some sessions on them here. Basically, the way that it works is all you need to collect is a email address and the amount, and then you're going to make an API call to set up an invoice with PayPal, and then that email address, they will receive an email from PayPal saying you've been invoiced for this amount, and then later you can go through and follow through and make that payment. And that's a really interesting thing for mobile, I think, because these checkout flows where you go through mobile, mobile express checkout, that works for some use cases. But other use cases where you want to do something much more frictionless and you want to do something quickly that can work with a mobile web app, it doesn't always work to try and add a payment at the end that's going to go through MEC. But it's a lot easier to be able to collect an email address and set up a payment that way. So the invoicing apps have some interesting kind of possibilities around mobile giving. And so to illustrate that, we worked with the team from Hawker in Germany. In the past 2 days, they put together something that illustrates this a bit. There's a QR code if you want to download and play with this thing. There's an app we built, and I'm going to show you guys now. It's a live app. You'll receive an invoice to pay a donation at the end. But the way it works is, so Hawker is a technology that uses the mobile aspect of the phone where you can use the accelerometer. When you shake the phone or move the phone, you can make things happen. Originally, the idea was you can share data from one phone to another server to another phone. You can share pictures, things like that. You can do more than that, too. You can do anything that you can do with a transaction. You can move money, too. So we worked with these guys and came up with an app in association with American Cancer Society and the NFL, who have a promotion going on right now. So the American Cancer Society and the NFL are playing right now. And Philip or Pavel from the Hawker team can show you if one of you guys want to stand up. They've downloaded the app on there that you'll see that was on the website, or you can go to acs.hawk.it to see it. And you enter the info in there. And then when you throw the Hawk, you saw there was another one that just came out, touchdown. We got another donation, and maybe more will come. So this is real. If you want, they put this together in 2 days. It's kind of fun. It shows another ways that you can use mobile technologies to do things, and with the high press value campaign that's going on right now with the NFL. So lots of other interesting ideas about how you can do things. Let's see if we got another touchdown coming. There we go. So if you play with this, I'm going to go back to the deck, and we can come back and look at the donation wall at the end and see anybody else that's throwing touchdowns. So other innovations going on. This was something quick that we did in the past 2 days. There's a lot of that stuff happening. We, in the UK, for the past 3 years, we've been participating in a charity hackathon where people in 24 hours build anything they can for charities. And, most of these applications that are coming out are mobile applications now. So there's a lot of innovations coming out from different things. And these hackathons are happening all over. There's one going on right now, actually, that around autism. And go to their website, hackingautism.com. You'll see a whole gallery of other mobile apps that are raising money for that cause. And you can go on, applications for good. There are more and more people that are trying to innovate in this space and coming up with different examples. And they're fun things, like the things that we've been talking about here. So you'll see more and more of those. What do we want to do as a company around this? What does eBay Inc., what does PayPal want to do in mobile giving? I think there's 3 things that we're stressing. One is, we want to do more ourselves. We have a lot of mobile assets that you've heard about. We want to leverage those mobile assets to embed giving options in there more. So whether it's the eBay app or different things going on with Milo, we have these cause-related commerce aspects that we built into those platforms, and we want to bring them to the mobile apps as well and do more there. The other is we want to use our tools to help nonprofits themselves. Nonprofits need to get mobilized themselves, and we want to provide them ways to do that and ways for them to raise money too. And we want to let you guys do stuff. So, enable innovations, and that's not just by pointing out, technologies that we can use. We want to do more around that. We want to be able to expose charity data to you guys so that you guys can build apps and develop relationships with charities that are interested in doing this kind of stuff. And enable an infrastructure around that so that you can build apps with charities that you didn't even know you didn't have a relationship with before. So that's what we want to do. What can you do? Businesses, let's come back to that point. There's social impact and there's strategic advantages for what you can do. Using cause to enter a market, magnifying the impact of what you're doing, knowing that you get better business results when you engage in this type of thing, it's important for businesses to think about. Developers, this is a market opportunity. Nonprofits need help, and there's, from the technologies and solutions that we've talked about, there's interesting things that you can come up with to help causes that you care about. And nonprofits themselves, nonprofits are all too often on the trailing edge of these types of trends before other types of groups. And so nonprofits need to realize, your constituents are mobile. They are using phones. And that's how they're interacting with technology. And so what are you going to do about that? And how do you make sure that you keep that relationship with your constituents when you're mobile as well? So that's it. Those are some things for us to think about. Now, if there's any questions.
If anyone's got questions, you can raise your hand. We'll check and see if there are any questions that have come in from Twitter. Any questions from Twitter?
There's a bunch here.
All right, and then I'll just go around the room. Looks like we've got a few minutes. So the first question, what payment method to use for some startup charity org for accepting donations, avoiding the transaction fee? So what payment method can I use to avoid transaction fees?
So the idea is this is a startup nonprofit?
That's what I think so, yeah. It's a startup nonprofit. I want to try to avoid transaction fees. What's my best bet for a payment method with PayPal?
So one thing to know is that at PayPal we have discounted pricing for nonprofits. So register your account with PayPal as a charity. And then if you go to paypal.com/nonprofit, you can read about how you can apply for charity pricing, which is reduced for nonprofits. So next.
Can I follow up with that? Big question for you. On PayPal, if I want to give you money, I give it to you and there's no fee for that.
Yeah, PayPal.
But if I use adaptive payments and I try to give you money, then I get charged for that.
Right. PayPal to PayPal transactions are free, right?
Not in the adaptive payments.
Well, adaptive payments, I guess it depends what you mean by that. Adaptive payments
no,
it's not necessarily PayPal to PayPal, right? It's a funded transaction.
No matter what, if I build an app to gift you money, PayPal takes a fee. There's no other way around that.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem consistent with your overall. It's like your adaptive payments API and your company policy on your own website are not consistent. I just wanted to find out if there was any input on that, because gifts normally, if you just have someone's email, then
so I can give a little bit of perspective, I guess, on how we're looking at this as a company and what we're interested in and where we're trying to go with this. Like I mentioned, I came to PayPal through the acquisition of Mission Fish, and historically, we've done a lot at PayPal for charities and donations through PayPal, but we have not spent a lot of time, to be honest, dedicating product resources or technology resources to the space. But I think it's a testament to how seriously the company takes this area, to say that they acquired a company and that finally we're in the position where, so I was the CTO of Mission Fish. Our product and technology team has moved within PayPal, and my job is to figure out, what types of things we're going to do in this area. So I think finally we're going to be spending some more time and attention on that. We're looking at these types of issues and what we want to do around how things work for money we raise through Mission Fish on PayPal, money we raise directly for nonprofits. So it's an area we're looking at, and hopefully over the next year or so we'll be able to address concerns. So
great. And there was one other question: was when you're trying to service the nonprofit industry with apps and things like that, I'm working on a donation app, Facebook app right now myself, and that's why I'm asking about this. Is there's an issue with how do you charge? Like there's one side of me says I should become a nonprofit, and I should charge like nothing and try to pull in money from other ways, or I'm gonna have to kind of move into that space and actually charge nonprofits some kind of fee, which is extremely unpopular. And the reason why the nonprofits are lagging in this industry is because they don't have enough money to spend on some of this stuff. And there's no money for developers and all this expensive technology. So we're in a catch-22 here. Can you maybe?
So it's a common issue, right? How do you build a business model around doing this type of stuff? You want to do something beyond, a 24-hour hackathon. You want to build a real thing. How do you monetize that? I think there's different, that's a specific question, I think, I can give a general answer. It's the types of things you said. You can look at ways to take cuts off of donations and do transactional revenue. You will feel pressure from that, but I think if you keep it reasonable, you can get by doing that. Some people do that. Other people charge kind of, access-based fees for access to the app that you're building. So those are two ways to do it: sponsorship and finding an organization. The Cause World app is an interesting idea, right? They got some big-time sponsors, Citibank and Kraft Foods, that were putting in a couple $100,000 that was supporting that app. So they built their business model around doing things and trying to get relationships with retail stores, but they went a different route to try and raise money around that and to process the donations. So I can tell you about what other people have done. Maybe afterwards, if you want, we can talk about your idea and see if I have any more specific things.
If you've got questions, if you'll just raise your hand, I'll work my way around the room.
There's one here, Clem. Oh, go ahead.
Hi. I just want to clarify the SMS fee. You said 60%, 60%?
It has been that high. So it depends on the country and it depends on the carriers and what they do. There's a couple of different companies that work with the telecom carriers to do this type of work, and they have ranged up to that level.
Can you give some examples of those companies for small to medium-sized?
So in the U.S., the two biggest ones are one's called MGive, and the other is called Mobile Cause. Those are probably the two biggest players in the space right now, and you can look them up online. They charge they have different fee examples. Sometimes they'll charge, nonprofits can sign up with them and get their own kind of SMS number that people can use. And some of them have sign-up fees and monthly fees for nonprofits to participate. And then on top of that, there can be transaction fees out of that. And they range at different levels depending on what's going on. But you can look at those two companies and see what they're doing. Those are, I think, the two biggest in the U.S. Hey.
Hi. If you are a for-profit retail company and you want to you can't do exactly what Tom's shoes are doing.
Why not?
Start smaller, maybe eventually.
Okay.
Do you suggest doing, since I'm the owner, what I'm passionate about in terms of a specific giving of a donation, or do you open it up to?
That's a really good question. So we see all sorts of different things there. On eBay, what we've done is eBay is a huge marketplace with all sorts of different people. And what's been successful there is giving their customers choice to say who they want to support and what they want to do, right? And that works because it's hard to pin down kind of the profile of a typical eBay user. It's a cross-section of the country, right? It's a cross-section of the world. And so what works there is giving lots of people choice, letting you say who your favorite cause is, and then figuring out ways that, from a platform perspective, to make sure that if we know better who somebody's favorite cause is, absolutely that makes a difference in what they're going to do. When you put a more relevant nonprofit in front of somebody, they're more likely to give than some random one that's been chosen. But I think, depending on other scenarios, you go to other types of companies. You think of like PetSmart, the pet company. You go there, they have a Give It Checkout program in store where you can add a donation. They're doing it with their PetSmart charities that helps homeless pets, right? So it's tied to their business, it's tied to their idea, and it works because, like my elephant example, right? You go there, you're likely to give because you're a pet owner, right, or you're not in the store. You care about pets, and like homeless pets is resonating with you, and you're going to do that. So, for them to give charity choice in that scenario probably wouldn't make sense. So maybe it depends a bit on your business. But understanding what your customers want to do and what are the causes that they care about is probably the way to maximize impact.
Hi.
Hey.
We are actually building an app that is, it will give information for different Caribbean island destinations to the tourists.
Okay.
And it's a cost of the app that it's being donated. And the inside of the app, well, there's information about some of the merchants of those destinations that's how we think of monetizing with the app. But the price of the app itself is 100%, or at least what we get from the cost of the app that is going to be donated to a charity of one of those destinations.
So meaning the app is not free. You have to pay for the app, but your idea is when they do that, you're going to donate that amount to a charity that's associated with the island that's going on there. That's a cool idea. Mm-hmm. Is that working?
It's in development right now.
I like it. Anybody else?
Who else?
Okay. Oh, one more.
Hi. Do you have any plans of integrating Zong with mobile giving? Zong has any?
So that's something that I want to talk about and learn more. This example that of the text-based giving and what's happening there, the carriers, the telecom carriers, like to work with a very specific set of companies for how they do that. The mGives and the mobile causes that I said, and it's kind of a closed community for how they do that. Zong is on the commerce side, and traditionally before now has not been involved in the donation space. So, certainly me wearing my charity hat is something I want to talk about, but I'm sure it's not the first time that the idea has come up with Zong, and they haven't gone that way yet. So I can't speak to any plans where that's going to be happening. Here's another.
If you just went ahead and integrated Zong into your charitable payment solution, wouldn't that kind of do the same thing as this text stuff?
I mean, I suppose
and your fee's going to be 5%.
I mean, you could come up with something, right? If you're the retailer, you're accepting money, and you want to add calls in your way, in your what you've done to accept payments through Zong in a different way, you could certainly come up with that, right? But I mean, I guess the way I was answering the question was, can you use Zong to do a straight text-based giving program to nonprofits and do something more similar to text giving? That's not something that's been done or that they're planning right now.
Thank you so much for this presentation. I learned so much, and I'm just really glad that PayPal is thinking in this direction and devoting resources into nonprofit giving. My question is, for all the developers here, what kind of resources is PayPal going to offer for developers in terms of, you were talking about, providing information, opening information up for developers to build on top of information that PayPal has about some of these nonprofits?
So I'll put that this way. I'm new to PayPal. I've only been there about a month or so. So stay tuned. We're going to be addressing that. For now, you're here and I'm here. You can reach out to me. And if any of you are interested in that, we're going to be working with the X.com team to at least say right now, put up some information on there about if you want to get involved and you have ideas and you want to get involved in this space, how you can reach out and learn more, and we'll talk. But beyond that, we have bigger plans about how we can, productize this and give kind of fuller support to the developer community about that. But for now, I want to hear from people and hear what are the ideas you have and help that kind of fine-tune how we build our solutions. There's another question. Up here, Clam.
We tried to we give money to a charity right now, and we looked them up in GivingWorks, and they weren't on there. What's the easiest way to get a charity involved in the program so that we can donate to that specific charity?
So there's I guess it depends if you know the charity and have a relationship with them. For GivingWorks, what they do is they need to register with MissionFish. They go to missionfish.org, and it's free to register, but they go through a vetting process, and then that's it. After they register and provide their information, 24 hours later, they'll be on the list. If you don't have a relationship with that charity, but there's just one you know of that you would like to participate, there's a function on there where you can recommend a nonprofit, and at least you can. You have to have some type of contact information for them, but you can do that, and it'll send them some messages that'll tell them about the program and tell them what's going on and what to do. And people use that, and it works. I mean, the nonprofits respond and sign up. Okay, so guess what? That is the end of the conference.